Someone wrote in and said, if you have HSV1 or herpes 1, how do you know when you can kiss again? It's a really poignant question. Like, if you found out you've been diagnosed with something, like, how do you know when you're safe? Like, how do you know when you can reach out and connect again? So this is Reid from readaboutsex.com.
Cathy from intimacydojo.com. Would you like a grape? Let go. Your sex educator.
So there isn't a safe time per se, like where you could not transmit HSV1. They think it's less likely if you're not having an outbreak, but it's always important to talk to your potential partners about it before you kiss them. Now, there are a lot of people that have HSV1, and so it's not the stigma.
I have herpes. People still sleep with me.
Yes, and you tell people before you kiss them. And that's, I mean...
Well, actually, I don't tell everybody I have herpes before I kiss them.
No?
No. So...
you tell everybody before you sleep with them.
Before I sleep with them. But I've made out with lots of people and not told them. And this, I'm sure we'll get lots of comments about this. You're going to have to figure this one out for yourself. But what it comes down to is herpes isn't fatal. And my heart goes out to folks who have herpes that have tremendously painful outbreaks.
Or compromised immune systems.
Compromised immune systems where it becomes trickier. It's possible to get herpes in your eye and things like that. But for the most part, statistically speaking, herpes is not fatal. Statistically speaking, most people will have, 1 to 3 or 4 outbreaks.
They get smaller. They get less.
Outbreaks get less and less. We have better and better medications to help prevent outbreaks and things like that. So, with those exceptions, herpes is really something that has just a lot of cultural stigma and baggage. And is just a pain in the ass.
And it never originally was not considered a sexually transmitted issue. There wasn't really a stigma. It was a skin condition that some people got. And then I forget, it was in the 50s or 70s. One of the drug companies found something that would help treat it, and so they kind of stigmatized. If you have this, it's a sexual. Yeah. They made it shameful.
Yeah, and depending on where your emotional and physical needs are around feeling safe, or a partner or a new partner, we have to recognize there's a lot of stigma here. So my advice is for you to figure out what your needs are around disclosure, and be as good as you can about those things, as best as you can, and also do the emotional work and have community around you if you're HSV positive, so that you can work through the stigma and the shame around it, so that you can use your words to talk to people more about this. I do sometimes I tell people that I have herpes when I'm making out with them. But again, it's just a tricky thing to talk about. But if you think you have a cold and you're going to kiss somebody, do you stop and tell them there's a little fly?
Exactly, the grapes.
No. If you think you have coming down with a cold, do you tell somebody you're going to kiss them or not? A cold is the most common sexually transmitted infection out there. So again, I want to underscore, get good at being able to talk to people about this stuff so that you can speak up, and that's not the issue. And to answer the actual question, now we know about herpes that you can be what's called shedding. You can be contagious anytime. You can be contagious when you do not have an outbreak. You can be somebody like me who's never had an outbreak that they know of, but still tests positive. And understanding that, hey, I could give you herpes and not be even having an outbreak. Is that okay with you? It's a simple check-in like that.
and you can also check with your doctor. There's some medicine that will help suppress that, suppress the outbreaks, and potentially reduce the chance.
Potentially reduce shedding,
yeah.
But I don't know that.
And neither of us are medical doctors, so.
Nor do we play them on the internet.
No. So, yeah, so it's not, kissing is not necessarily a safe act for anybody. We can get a cold, the flu, we can, Aunt Gertrude can kiss us on the cheek with a cold sore, and all of a sudden we have HSV1.
Yeah.
So it's not a safe, it's never it's 100% safe to kiss anybody, but it's usually worth it.
And when you are having an outbreak, we know you're shedding.
Yeah.
And so then it would not be safe. That is when you are contagious for sure. And so please avoid kissing people when you have an active outbreak. That's just, common sense, but not really common sense because people don't talk about it like that.
Yeah.
We hope this sometimes difficult and fraught conversation was helpful. We do have more videos where we talk more about herpes and stigma and shame. Mm-hmm. So just do a little Google search and find those, or YouTube search and find those. I hope this was useful, and enjoy being a human being.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really,